Well guys, welcome back. Another mini series video. This week we are going to get this axle hosing ready for axles and the center section. But let me give you a little bit of a heads up. This isn't a full project. I started this project before the snow started to fall. I got a Ford 9-inch hosing, very dirt cheap. Came with a center section. I got axle hosing, or I got axles and everything, but the axles were the wrong bolt pattern. The hosing came out of, I think it was a truck or something, but it was really wide. And as you know, I'm trying to fit 13-inch wide tires inside a step side Ranger. What I had to do was cut the axle down. I think if I remember correctly, I took 7 inches off of one side and 4 inches off of the other. What I wanted was, I wanted a centered pinion. So I calculated it so that the pinion ended up centered instead of offset like they are stock. Oh, I cut a total of 11 inches out of this housing with the 7 and the 4. The offset will actually be caused by where I end up putting the transmission, just to keep the U-joints alive, because you don't want them straight on. I shortened the housing, and today we're actually going to weld on the housing ends. I tried to machine the housing ends myself on a brake lathe, and it didn't work. Well, it worked, but it took a really long time. Like, I think I spent almost 4 hours doing just one housing end so that it fit, just barely fit inside the housing. But then I sent it off to the local machine shop, and they had it set up within a couple hours. Let's get into today's video. We're gonna sloppy this rear diff back together and see how long it lasts. I know. How are you going to keep this axle straight while welding these housing ends on? I think I got a tool built. It should be good enough. 2 3/4 inch pieces of ready rod nut, 2 coned fittings that fit in the housing end nicely. That'll kind of hopefully square it up with this nut being tight. I built a coupler for the 2 3/4 inch pieces of ready rod, and then same thing on this side. And all I did was I made my marks on the housing ends, kind of matched them up and put them here. These housing ends, I don't really care where they're sitting. I'm doing a weld on disc brake kit, so it doesn't matter where these go, but I tried to kind of make them as symmetrical as possible. So I'm going to tack this together in 4 separate spots, maybe 8. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to hyperlapse this whole rear end build, and I will get back to you when we're done. Hopefully you noticed that I did a nice crisscross pattern, switching from side to side every time I tacked. I did 8 tacks per housing end, and then I did a bead in between each tack, alternating side to side again, knowing that the tool and everything was holding these housing ends nice and snug in place. They'll be square enough that I'm not going to be eating bearings out of this rear diff. I'm not spending a pile of money on this rear diff. I got the housing for free. I'm gonna order some cut to fit axles. I had to get this housing measured, or had to get this housing welded together so that I can measure it for the right length of axles. And yeah, I think this worked out well. The welds, I'm only running MIG with some flux core wire, so they look meh, but they're burnt in there well. Once I get some gas, I might go over these welds again. This rear end is going to be strong enough. I'm not worried about it in a 2,800 pound truck. Oh yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Instagram is going to keep you guys updated with what's coming. We're not taking anything else apart. Everything is going back together. I got the front axle, or the front cross member to put in. The rear forelink for this 9-inch. The engine's gonna go in. We're gonna kind of jump around a bunch, just all over the place with installation components. Again, hit that like and subscribe button, and follow on Instagram at Roofless Garage. Yeah, I'm out. Later.